All right, we are ready to do an update on how this cemetery building is coming along. Now, what we've done, as you can see here, we got a window frame in, and it's basically it's just like the images I've got of this. We also made the brick veneer. It's stacked stone. Actually turned out really good. I made a little extra more than what I needed, but let me show you kind of how it goes. If you can see right here at the front. So the front one is going to be basically one piece, and it stops at this corner, so it does not cover that garage door there. And then we have a door here. I'll show you the prints for the door frames and stuff. Okay, so basically we are going to be gluing this veneer, and we make these corners. The corners are really important. They got to be folded, and then to get the sharp corner like this, when it's folded, we take a roller and we roll it, and that makes a perfectly folded nice corner. So this will fit perfect in here. One thing we're gonna have to do, and it's very tricky, is going to be to cut the opening for the door, and we'll have to do some tracing, because the other part that this has the brick veneer on. If I turn it like this, here's a side, and I've already got the door frame in there, and I've got the window frame in there. And then this brick veneer is going to come, or this stacked stone, it's going to come around like this, and I'll have to trim along the roof edge so I can glue it on there. And I'll have to trace so that I can carefully cut out the door and the window so that you can see them. And then we're going to go around to this curved section, which also has it. And so we'll have to cut openings for the windows. And then it goes around back to this corner and stops. So it'll come around. And then we got enough where we can do the this wall on the inside here too. We can do that. Now let's take a look at the windows. So let's take a look at some of our methods for making the windows. We've got here, as we've got our lab book, of course. We make our measurements with the calipers. We use digital calipers. These all got to be done in metric, and so we got a metric steel ruler, and we draw them out and then record measurements. Then we go up to 3D design, and we design it in 3D. And as you can see, it's a collection of boxes that are aligned. Okay. Then we bring it over to the slicer. We put it in the slicer right there, and then we print. We print on the 3D printer. But now, so let's take a look at how that one turned out. Here it is. And it's got, it's a filament printer. This whole thing was done by a filament printer. So it's got the lines and stuff in it. We're going to sand this a little bit, because we are painting this the brown color that matches that section of roof that's brown. Okay, now these guys, they've got to be thin enough to curve and fit in the opening. And so we got to take some of the skirt off. I'd like it to fit from the inside. I don't know if that'll be possible on this, but it is exactly right for that. So like if I turn this inside out, I could put it on. I don't want to put it on like this unless I have to, but that could be done, because then I can use the skirt to glue it. I might actually have to do that. And the glass, that means the glass is going to be very difficult to cut for this. But the way we make that measurement is we take a little strip of paper and we wrap it, and then we mark it with a pencil, and then we measure it so that we know how it has to be. And then we'll use the same way when we cut the glass for it. And then these windows here, they're all fit from the inside. These are a little thicker, so their frames come all the way, almost all the way out. and they fit right in there. There's 2 more in there. And then same, the long windows, they also got their skirt, and that's how we'll attach it. And then the skirt does one thing for us that's kind of important. It gives us someplace, we're going to have to glue this glass on, and we can glue it to the skirt. So that when you look at it from the outside, you won't see, there won't be any chance you can see glue on the glass. And that will be pretty sweet. So now we're down to making a door and 2 garage doors and 2 small doors. And then we will start installing windows, and we will start cutting our stacked stone veneer to go on it. So there's a bunch of artifacts from this print. Now, as you can see, I like to put a skirt on. That's where the printer prints. In my case, I print 6 lines around to make sure any globs from the nozzle get caught in the skirt first, and then the window turns out better. And then you gotta trim the skirt when you need it. Like, we may or may not, we might be able to do this one backwards. But otherwise, you would trim the skirt. In this case, for this building, they all fit in place, and the skirt is what we're going to use to glue them so that you don't see any of the glue. And that ought to be pretty nice, especially when the roof is on. It'll be extra nice. And I'm probably going to go ahead and just brush paint. The inside walls are all a parchment color. And then the floor, at least on this side, is bare concrete. It'll be shiny concrete. This here is carpet, and just so happens it's carpet squares. We'll think about if we're going to carpet that or not. We'll see how much time we have left. If we got enough time, we might carpet that. But that's where we're at. We're looking pretty good. Got just about all the castings made, or all the frames made. We got 2 of one type, 2 of another type, and 1 of one type. And then we'll be done with those. And it'll look great. This thing is starting to be really cool. And that front, with that brick on it, or that stone, is going to be really, really nice. That's some good stuff right there. I made that. And I used a graphics program to replicate a bunch of stacked stone, and it's a pretty random pattern over a very big area. And it happens to match the photo that I have of this, the same number of stacks as are shown in the photo. That's just a little minor important detail. That's where we're at. That one's coming along nice.